went to Dr. Kehinde. This is one for you. This is one for your wife. You know, it's $20. I wrote somewhere for me. Okay. He came back to me. He said my wife played hers, Oyo, that he melted, and she went into his car and took his own. So he wanted another one. I said, I wrote my born. I don't want to bother with that.
You told me a story about how a generous person reached out to you.
Yeah.
To pretty much start on the production of Orin Adura.
Yeah.
Tell us about this story.
So I released the EP, get pressure to put it online, eventually put it online, and I get this Facebook message from Dr. Tunde Badru. And I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to him. I don't know that we ever actually had a conversation before. I knew faintly who he was, but, you know, very close to his family, but didn't actually know him. And he sends me this message. This is September 2012, and he says, Tolu, I have to tell you this. For some reason, I could not sleep this night and I woke up around 2 a.m. I decided I was going to stay up and say 3 o'clock prayer, which I did. I then couldn't go back to sleep and decided to log on to Facebook. I found your music and I have been teary-eyed ever since. I am deeply moved by the spirit through your music. It is inspirational, very well done, and I'm proud of you. I can't wait for daylight so I can play this for my mother. We need to put this on CD. And it was that Facebook message that basically launched this whole Orin Adura thing, from the EP and then into volume 1 and then now volume 2. That message, him not sleeping, him not being able to sleep that night, to staying up and finding it somewhere, I guess maybe on someone's Facebook wall or somewhere, was how Orin Adura launched.
Wow.
Yeah.
This man was so moved.
Yeah.
And what are the odds of him, first of all, waking up at
Right.
an hour?
Exactly.
Just restless.
Exactly.
Like, thank God for the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
That he moved to pray. And then still not being able to sleep. It was almost like...
Yeah. It was like God was almost like lining him up.
Yeah, to put him in that position.
Yeah.
To be the one to kick you in the butt.
Yeah, basically,
so
yeah.
To get the thing going. And so he executive produced the first LP.
Yes.
How was that experience? You know, just from the point of contact to doing the production, meeting Uncle Femi.
Yes.
And then the launch itself.
Man, it was absolutely amazing. So one thing that he told me first and foremost is that he goes, this has nothing to do with me. You have full reign, you know, you do you. And basically he's like, I just want to preserve our hymns and I want to get this out to as many people as possible. And I just want to support, I just want to encourage and support. So that freedom that he gave, like really just set the momentum and set the spirit of what Orin Adura is. Because I didn't want to do music like everybody else was doing it. And I knew that I was different in it and my approach to music was different. So that just set the heart. And then really, I mean, from then, the funny thing is I initially said no, but then, you know, God opened things up, my schedule, and I got to work with basically my childhood. You know, I don't like to use the word idol, but the person I looked up to most musically, someone who loved God and was an excellent musician and producer, someone I knew from my childhood. So like it just like launched it out basically. And that led us to, we picked a date, we met in Nashville, Tennessee, which is like Music City, crazy musicians, got in the studio, you know, basically we spent a few days practicing prior to the studio, got in the studio, and the Holy Spirit happened, you know. The hymns, the different inspirational moments within the studio, the musicians we worked with, the way that we slowed things down and the instrumentation was different and how the focus was on Christ, you know, and the lyrics and the transformation of the human heart when it comes to engaging with God because we've taken time to slow down. And then getting it out to people and seeing people's responses. So it's just been smooth. It's been smooth.
I will put my let him fall. Tolu, sit down.
So you go there by yourself?
I go. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too.
Who said they love you in the first place?
He's like Kramer on Seinfeld.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, it's been a long struggle. But I knew someday if I just kept at it, I love you too. I'm not going to take your time. Let me take off my jacket. Put my ground in. Thank you. When I started thinking about this production,
Notice I'm on stage now.
it was a long journey. Someday I will do the arrangements. Someday I will not get it, but I kept flogging. Femi, I appreciate all your encouragement. Tolu, your voice sounded nice on some of the tracks. Bob Legend, I told you that engineering would take you somewhere. Tosi, see you. You guys are there too.
Sorry. Live television, mind you. No, that's when they start playing
No, you're not going to play any music. This is my one and only time on the Grammy train. I'm going to stay my stuff. I just want to tell you, if you have a dream, keep at it. It took me 10 years to do this album. Someday I will do it a little. Someday, when I remember one day I was playing the strings, I'm doing it and overdubbing. But look at it now. Okay. Please be on the lookout for Orin Adura 3. Thank you all. God bless you.
Really?
Now I'm going to give him back his jacket.
That jacket, you don't even give him back that jacket.
They drag him off the stage, one guy on each side.
If I don't trip you, you are going there and collecting. You'll be collecting the award.
You said the artist's voice sounded good on songs.
And you know there's only one. They only give us one. No, one Grammy.
Get a Grammy.
What do they call that? Statue. They're only going to give us one statue.
They give you more than one.
If you go, you're going to collect that statue. I'm going home with the statue. So if you get up, you run.
Give everybody that.
No, I will.
And so when you launched the LP, that was 2012.
Yes, 2012.
And at that point in your life, you were I believe you had already started dating Amanda.
No,
You hadn't started.
I hadn't started dating. No.
Where in the timeline of all of this did she fall?
The funny thing is, when I launched the CD, Amanda was there that night. She was actually working the doors for me.
Wow.
Yeah, she was. I think she was helping with ticket sales at the door. But at that time, we're not talking. My wife, we're not talking anything. She was just there as a friend, helping me out, trying to get logistics and things taken care of. So it wasn't until basically the year after. I think it was 2013, that we actually started to really connect. Wow. And then at that point, she was moving to Uganda to serve as a missionary. So we connected, we hit it off, and then all of a sudden, she was gone, and which I'm glad she did, because she was following God's calling and mandate for her life. But basically, while she's overseas serving, we just started a relationship overseas. So we started off long distance. Long story short, she's now my wife, and we have a baby boy. Asaf. Asaf if you're Nigerian, Asaf if you're American. And God has been very, very gracious for our family. And shout out to my wife, because recording this album basically means I'm gone all day, every day. And she's here with me in Nashville, but she's holding down our family and taking care of our son, basically alone right now. So shout out to my wife for giving me this grace.
And so between the time of the LP launching in 2012, you meet Amanda the following year. Fast forward 3 years later, after dating long distance, she's able to return. And then next thing you know, you're engaged.
Yes, engaged.
And within the same year, not even 6 months later, you're married.
Married.
How was that experience for you? How is that like, how was that experience for you during that period of your life?
Yeah.
And how were you able to handle sort of like taking your attention away from the music and just onto building a family, starting a family?
Yeah. Man, I think for the first time, you know, when you're single, basically you can do whatever you want, basically, you know, and you kind of control your circumstances in a way, you know. When you're done, you can just step aside and go home or go somewhere else, you know. So I think it was the first time in my life where I wasn't necessarily, at least as an adult, in control of my circumstances, right? Because I have a responsibility and a privilege and an honor to love my wife and protect my wife, and now love and protect my family and provide for my family. You know, God is our sole provider, but you know, me in the role as husband and father. So it was interesting to be able to, like, man, time that I would normally, you know, playing, or I'll have my hymn book out or get my guitar or go somewhere, or, you know, gig at a church or whatever. Now that time is really, that's family time. That's, you know, so it's basically, I think I caught earlier that it wasn't a disservice. It was actually just a different way to serve Christ.
That's amazing.
Yeah. As opposed to, you know, missing out, I was actually getting to partake in a new way to love, you know, God, which is my family. And thank God for that perspective, because sometimes, you know, when you are a musician, when you have certain gifting or whatever, you feel like almost like unnecessarily tied to that. But if you can be free of that by His grace, you can then just say, yeah, I'm pivoting, or I'm, you know, transitioning just to love God in a different way.